We spent a week at the Salt Lake City KOA holiday, and we even sprung for a fancy patio site while we were at it. This is the priciest stay we've had at a KOA campground so far. After booking our stay, I found mixed reviews about the area. Some praised the proximity to the airport and downtown, while others said it was run down and spoke of a rather large nearby homeless encampment. What was it actually like? Is it worth it? Let's take a look around the park. Okay, so this is our site. See, nice trees. This is our deluxe patio. So we've got this table here with the 4 chairs, and then over here next to the road we have a fire pit and another 2-seater bench. Very cool. You see we got lots of trees, the grass is in good shape, plenty of room to park our Jeep right next to our 32-foot Class C motorhome. And we have enough width here to walk through pretty easily, actually. As I'm going, I'm kind of showing you kind of some views of the park. It's really pretty, lots of trees. You wouldn't know that you are right in the middle of Salt Lake City. You are right across the street from the airport, basically, right downtown. So we don't have a ton of room on the utility side, but it's walkable through here. So your hookups are there. Not too bad all around. You can see the mountains in the distance. And here are a couple of other views of the park, so you can get a sense of the roads and the park layout. It's pretty impressive how much green space there is, considering you are right in the middle of Salt Lake City, right near the airport. One of the interesting things about this park is that nearly all the sites are pull-throughs, which is handy. And here's just a quick shot of the pool. There are people using it, so I didn't want to get too close. There are always people using it. But here is the hot tub, which was working. Sometimes you go to these places and the hot tub doesn't work. And here are the bathroom and showers. This is just one of the shower houses. There are actually 2 in the campground. So the restrooms were there towards the door. Here's a shower. I'll give you a sense of what they look like. Campground showers. Pretty nice though, honestly. And there's another one, identical to the first. And then this is the larger accessible one. Got the bench and more room and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty nice campground shower house. You see everything's clean. Okay, here's the laundry room. It's right off the office. Got these big dryers and washers. There are a ton of machines. So it costs $3 to do a load in the washer. You can see they only take quarters, so there's no app here. And then when it comes to the dryers, it's actually a quarter for 7 minutes. But you can preload and put a lot in beforehand. So, put a bunch of quarters in for however long you think it's going to take. Yeah, so I'll show you all the machines and everything. That is an excellent number of machines for the number of spots. And it wasn't too busy when I went here to do my clothes. I will say that the sign on the outside door says that the hours are 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. But the sign... Oh, we got a change machine here. But the sign here says that it's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I don't know if it's open from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. But the rest of the time, it should be. All right, here's the media center. I didn't know what the media center even was. It's basically like a game recreation room, as you can see from the other signs. You come in, we've got kind of an arcade situation. A few machines in here. Pac-Man, ooh, pretty basic kind of stuff. Wheel of Fortune, Fast and Furious. And then you just kind of back there have some couches and some lounge space. Nothing too fancy, but I thought I'd show you because I saw that on the map and I wasn't sure what that was. And here's the dog park. Got this kind of area to walk your dogs. They've got all these implements back here to pick up after your dog. And places for owners to sit while their dogs run off leash and play. Got this cute canine art in the fence too. Lots of sweet little touches at this KOA. And they also have this station where you can wash your dog. And speaking of furry friends, it's time for the most important review of all, Ratface's review. Ratface was a huge fan of this park. After our travels recently through desert regions mostly, he was all about the grass, needed to touch grass. 10 out of 10 from Ratface, very nice. He's had a hard time lately. He was a big fan of this park. It was very peaceful for him. He got his nature time. Very happy cat. And as far as nearby attractions, you are literally in the middle of Salt Lake City. It is a major metropolitan area, cannot be more conveniently located, and pretty much anywhere in Salt Lake City you get those wonderful mountain views. You get to experience all the culture of Salt Lake City, very famous, very unique city. You're right across the street from the airport, and the campground is not too far off multiple highways, so it's a pretty easy place to pull into for an overnight. Okay, we've seen around the park. Let's talk about the pros and cons. I'll start with the pros. The first pro was the patio site was great. We had that nice dining area, plenty of room to work. I'm actually filming this video from the patio area as we speak. The only other workspace I've had this great on the road from a campground was at the KOA in Las Cruces, which I also did a video on. I'll link that below. The second pro is the great shade from all of these trees. There are lots of mature trees, they're well spaced. I'm sitting in the shade, it's lovely. I can actually be outside without the awning out and I am not frying. I love it. Now, the third pro has to do with the trees, but kind of counterintuitively. The park Wi-Fi here is really solid, which was very helpful because as I said, there's all that tree cover. And as you know, tree cover can interfere with the Starlink that we have. So that's what we're using for internet. And I'm very grateful that it was very fast here and great upload speed actually. Sometimes you get download but not upload. This place is good in both directions. Very nice. The fourth pro is location based. We are very close. We are right in the city. There is so much around to do and see and so many transportation options, and you are close to any kind of store you would ever need. Really conveniently located for Salt Lake City. The next pro is that it's surprisingly quiet at night. Considering you're close to the airport, you're in a major metro, you're in the middle of everything. You know, it's a busy campground. I have slept great here. I mean, there's one security light that's a little bit bright that freaked Justin out when we got here, but it hasn't kept us up at night. And the security light brings me to the next pro, which is that the park feels very safe. There's actually a security force that patrols at night. They do recommend that if you stay here, you have a good lock for your bike. You don't leave valuables out because it is a major metro. Every major city has those kind of incidents, but they do have a security force. It feels very safe. I have not been sketched out at all. The next pro is that it has a really good laundry facility. You saw all those machines. There's a good ratio. And yes, $3 is expensive for washing, but the dry time being in those small increments and cheap, you know, kind of balances out. And that way, if you want to just kind of quickly dry your swimsuit or something, you're not having to pay for a whole cycle, which I think is kind of what they're going for since the laundry house is right next to the pool. And the final pro is that there are so many pull-through sites. Pretty much all of them are pull-through sites, and that makes things very easy at the end of a long travel day. Definitely a big fan of that. Okay, so that was a lot of pros. It's a nice park. We have a nice site, kind of expecting that. There are a few cons, and they're a little nitpicky, but I wanted to be fair. The first con is that it's kind of an expensive park. Our site's expensive. I probably spent, oh gosh, maybe $20 a night more than I wanted to, but it's in a major city and things are more expensive in the city, so I'm not too upset about it. You know, you look at a lot of the hotels, especially nice hotels or ones that have security or in a reasonably safe area, you know, those hotels are going to cost more than your country hotel. It goes the same for KOAs that are in the middle of a city. Wasn't expecting that, but it is a little pricey, so I thought I'd mention that. The second con is that our site wasn't level. Even though it was a pull-through, we had to level. It wasn't a big deal. It was only a little off-kilter. It wasn't like one of those crazy off-camber situations where you have tons of blocks, but we did have to level. And you know, for a park that has a bunch of pull-through sites, a lot of times people are overnighting. They don't want to unhook their toad. You'd have to unhook here if you wanted to be level. Anyway, the bottom line here is that it was a good stay. It was a bit pricey, I'll give it that, but it was relaxing after spending 2 weeks at the worst rated campground we've ever stayed at in Huracan, Utah. I'll link that video in the description below if you're interested, if you want to see that one. That's where we were before here. But yeah, the neighborhood wasn't nearly as rough as the reviews said. Justin is kind of wondering if maybe the encampment was a past problem, if it's been moved, because the city's doing some work and stuff around here. It's possible that it moved since those reviews were left. It was an expensive stay. It was very solid, and it was just what we needed for this part of our journey. And that's kind of how we approach this. Sometimes we stay cheap places, sometimes we stay in more expensive places. We kind of ebb and flow depending on our needs at the time, and it all kind of works out in the budget. Anyway, it was great talking to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.